Good morning, guys. Hello, I am Anuar Bolaños. I am the teacher of this professional development course that is called Pronunciation for Beginners. And today I'm gonna upload the information of this session three. And for that, I prepared these instructions and this story that I'm gonna tell you about. And this is, as you can see here, it says Anwar's process to improve pronunciation. And I have these 3 points here. First, me as a person who has been trying to improve my English language pronunciation for a long time. That means me as a learner. So what I do to learn English to improve my pronunciation. And then there's another me, yeah, as a person who has been helping others to have an adequate English pronunciation. Yeah, there's a typo here. She says others. I'm gonna correct the yes there. Now it is there. So me as a learner, when I'm trying to learn my pronunciation and improve my pronunciation, and me as a teacher when I help others, my students, or the students that are sent to the office for tutoring. And then I'm gonna show you like the strategies, my strategies to improve pronunciation. So what I do, right, is when I'm planning my classes, when I get any book, I take a look at the material I will be using to get familiar with it. So for example, here when I show you, I have this, for example. This is book Life 4. Is her. It says there is an intermediate students book level, but here we call it independent cycle. This is page 130, as you can see there. So that means this is the independent 4 class. This is Unit 11. In Independent 4, we cover Units 10, 11, and 12. This is an exercise of Lesson 11A that I chose. And it's a reading. So when I'm planning my class, I go to a reading and I get familiar with the information. I say, okay, I try to find everything that is in that reading to be familiar with it. For example, I say this. So the first thing that I do, right, is I read, then in number two, you can see that I go to www.wordreference.com online to check meaning of words and reconfirm I understand all these words and get definitions and synonyms ready to offer students when they need. Because sometimes they ask you for meaning of words, so you have the definition ready or you have the synonyms ready. And what I do is I write this on my lesson plans in my notebook. Okay, so that's why I have here open, right, as you can see, the word reference web page. So, for example, if I'm reading this and I go like, okay, the title is the last uncontacted tribe. How do you know how to pronounce that? So I know that it's tribe because I have some experience with the language, but even having that experience, I also confirm that the pronunciation is correct. So what do? I go to the word reference web page online. That's what I do. So I'm gonna continue reading. I'm gonna show you another example. In 2008, in order to draw attention to the illegal logging on the Brazil-Peru border, the Brazilian Department of Indian Affairs (FNI) released photos of an uncontacted Amazonian tribe. I mean, that's like the first paragraph. I stop there, and then I see, okay, border. Maybe this word border, yeah, is one of the words that the students are gonna ask me for, or maybe affairs, right? So maybe I know these words. I have, as I said before, I have experience with the language. The same way you do. I'm pretty sure you know the meaning of these two words. But the thing is, we are planning a class for students. So I'm checking the material. So I go here to word reference, right? I write there the word border. Let me see if this is working or not, right? And I ask and for definition. So let me see English definition first, and then I say, okay, look for the word, right? The word reference.com, right? I say, okay, yeah, it's border. So let me see, it's working or not, and I tell the computer to go. I'm working here in the training room in the north side. The Wi-Fi and the signal is not too strong, so maybe that's why it's not showing it there. So I'm gonna continue talking to you while it comes out, right? So the second thing I do is I use a web page to confirm the pronunciation. That's what I'm telling you about. Is this number two here? You can see that I highlighted with yellow web page to confirm the pronunciation of words that I consider relevant for the students to practice. It's not that I select only the new words or the words that I consider are unknown for the students. When I say here relevant, is because I think that they might know some words, right? But words that are relevant for the students, right? Like border, affair, or some other words that you might think they would like to know, or maybe that they know, but they are not very sure of them. So I tried not to assume that they already know the words meaning, the pronunciation, and use. I always confirm students get all these aspects correctly. So I ask them, do you know what this word means? Do you know the pronunciation? Do you know how to use that word in sentences and statements and in conversations? So I confirm them. I never assume that they know, right? So let me see if it opened already. Yeah, it's there. So border, right? In definition number one, it says the part or edge of a surface that forms its outer boundary. That's kind of complicated. So let's see number two. The line that separates one country province from another. I will copy that one. Number two. Yeah, it's easy to understand. It's easy to use. I will write it or memorize it, but I usually I do write it on my lesson plan notebook. Like border, the line that separates one country from another. That would be the definition. Also, I go here, English synonyms, right? Let's see, it's gonna come certain moment, right? So I also look for synonyms. So it says edge, boundary, perimeter. I think I would like perimeter, margin, periphery. I don't know. I would select one of those. I say perimeter is close to Spanish or margin. I guess I would use that, right? So I bring the definition, right? The definition that it says the line that separates one country from another, and I will write perimeter or margin. Okay, something else that I do, I'm going to show you here in the information that I prepare for you, is that I repeat the words aloud several times to practice them and memorize them. I try to imitate the American pronunciation and I take a look at the phonetic alphabet as reference to understand the nature of sounds. So that's why here in word reference, right? I can see the word border in English, border, Scottish, border, whatever. So I do take a look at this phonetic alpha that is here, but I also listen to the word, right? I'm click on here listening. Usually my computer at home or in the office,
border,
okay?
border, border,
Kind of difficult to understand, right? The other word that I used there was affair, so I'm gonna write it here. I'm gonna write it in singular. I'm gonna ask the web page to show me the definition. It's coming, right? I can see the phonetic here. And let's go first for even there is an option here in Spanish. If you don't know the meaning in Spanish, you can also take a look at it. Right? After anything requiring action or effort, business, I would just go for business. Affairs, matters, a commercial, whatever. I want to go back for a moment to the text, right? It says here, Indian affairs, no? The Brazilian Department of Indian Affairs. So I guess they are talking about the people in the Amazon, the tribes, the indigenous people living there. So I say affair might be things, business, right? And affairs here, matters of commercial or public interest or concern. I go for synonyms. And in synonyms, we're gonna find, it's gonna open in a moment. Business, you see business, duty, things, matters, concern, responsibilities, tax. You can questions, you can use one or two synonyms to bring into class, right? Usually it's things, business, the Indian things, the situations with the Indians, right? Then I listen to it. It's coming, be patient. This Wi-Fi is trying to work. I'm gonna click once again. It's trying to come. I know it's affair.
affair, affair, affair,
Affair. I see that I was pronouncing this a like affair, but this is more like affair. Oh, is it?
affair, affair,
Okay, cool. I interviewed Joellen Simpson because she's, besides being the general director of the Colombo, she's also a TEFL course teacher and she teaches phonetics, right? And that's why I have here this phonemic chart, right? This is the American phonemic chart, okay? And if you get familiar with this, it might help you a little bit. And there are other couple of videos that I'm going to upload. There's this Alexis Rengifo teacher video. Alexis is the teacher of the conversation courses here. He is a native speaker. He grew up in New York. So he's helping us with a video showing us how to pronounce this and recognize this phonemic chart and these symbols, and they help. But as my super more important recommendation that I have here in this material that I prepare for you, I usually look for a coworker who is a native speaker to confirm the pronunciation with him or with her. I consider this strategy the most useful one. Listen to a native speaker and imitate his or her pronunciation. So when I want to be sure about the pronunciation of a word, I'll look for an American person here at the Colombo. Could be Daniel Zema, Beth Bartlett, Alexis Rengifo, or I also ask Joel and Caesar. When they are around, I just ask. I just ask and I try to imitate the pronunciation. I repeat it several times. That's what I do. When I am at home or in the office, I use word reference. I listen to this
affair,
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 affair, and I repeat it several times. So in that way, I try to at least guarantee for myself that I'm getting ready for the class with the material, the words, the meaning, the vocabulary, and just get ready for the students, even for words that I know. Sometimes when you look here to these words, there's also an example. Resolved the affair with your lawyer. Okay, so there's a sentence there because I do mention here that when you're working with that, the idea is to check the meaning, the pronunciation, and the use of the word. Right, so that's the way I prepare myself, and these are some of the strategies I also show my students in class to do, and in this way we can at least guarantee that they are getting familiar with the correct pronunciation. But number one is listen and repeat. Listen and repeat. I mean, that's what I recommend you guys to watch lots of series and movies in English all the time. If you can use the subtitles in English, it's a lot better. But listening is the key to improve pronunciation. Okay? Talk to you later.